Hey friend, welcome back to another episode of the So What podcast. My name is Anna McGuire, and I'm so excited to have a conversation with you today about sowing intentionally into our lives so that we can reap abundantly in the days, weeks, months, and even years to come. All right, fun fact about me, the last 2 years I have lived on the third floor of an apartment complex. And not only have I just lived on that third floor, I have lived on the third floor without an elevator. I have lived on the third floor without an elevator, which, yes, that means that every grocery trip, every Target haul, every car seat carrying moment, every taking the kids out and bringing them back in, taking out the trash, getting the mail, every Amazon package, it all has had to make the climb from the ground floor all the way up to the third floor. And I remember when we were here for about 2 weeks, I was like, what in the world did we get ourselves into? And while I was standing at the bottom of the stairs, it was like this fresh revelation came over me, and it was, these are my considerate pure joy stairs. Now, that's been the name of them for me, is that they're my considerate pure joy stairs. And you're like, why are they called considerate pure joy stairs? Well, it comes from James 1:2-4, where it says, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know the testing of your faith produces perseverance. And let that perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing. So I just decided, 2 weeks into living here, that they were going to be my develop perseverance, develop growth, develop maturity stairs. And the other day we celebrated living in Florida for 2 years. And I said to Andrew that morning, how many times do you think we've gone up and down the stairs? He was like, oh gosh, thousands. And I'm like, yeah, because we've got a chocolate lab, we've got kids, we run errands every day, we take RG to school. It's got to be thousands of times. And I will say this, is that over the last year or so, we've had some opportunity. We love the community we live in. It really is not just an apartment. It is a take care of you community. It's just awesome. We've got incredible neighbors. We love where we live. But we've had opportunities to either move out of this community or move into a different apartment, one that would be on the first or the second floor. And that's not out of the question, especially now that we have baby number 2. But we really do love where we live. But these stairs, they have humbled me many times over the last 2 years. And there's some times where, again, I think to myself, what are we doing? Especially now, Alana, thankfully, she's in a car seat carrier type car seat. So it's easy to put her in one arm and then the groceries and my purse in the other. But soon she's not going to be needing a car seat when it's full-fledged, she'll need a car seat, but not a carrying one. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, I thought it would be really fun because I was thinking about this. I'm how many times have we gone up and down those stairs, to map out some of the lessons that I have learned with living on the third floor without an elevator. And I ran these by Andrew just to get his perspective. And he was like, these are all so spot on. And I even asked hey, was there any lessons that I missed? And so anyways, he was we went through these together. And here's this. It's this is not you have to live on the third floor of an apartment complex to make these relevant. These really are lessons that transcend where you live. They're meant to be applied to every day of your life. So here's the first lesson that I have learned with living on the third floor for the last 2 years without an elevator. And that is, the best views come with a climb. Now, I don't want to sound like Hannah Montana, but it's true. Okay. The best views come with the climb. So every time I finally reach the top of our stairs, sometimes it's again, why did I do this? But maybe you've seen on my Instagram or Andrew's Instagram, if you look out, we have the most incredible view of our community. And just the palm trees were right up next to a nature preserve. So there's nothing being built by us, and it's just gorgeous. And we have the best view, period. And if we lived on the first floor or the second floor, we would not have the same kind of view. On top of that, our view is very secluded compared to other views because ours is on the third floor. So there's nobody walking by us. There's only one patio that can see us. Unlike other ones, there's like multiple people who can view you. Ours is super secluded. I'm actually looking at it right now, our patio, and there's 2 windows in our office that face our patio. It is the best view, and I would not have it if there was not the pain and the challenge of the climb. So the climb can feel inconvenient in our lives, right? Like when I talk about climb, I'm talking about anything that is worth like while, whether that be a journey in your faith, whether that be a pursuit in your health. It could feel like it is a mountain that you're scaling. And there are views, and again, this can sound like a no-brainer, but I think we miss it, is that there are views that we can only see from the top of the mountain that we would never be able to see in the valley. Like this, in the next couple of days, Andrew and I are going to the mountains in Utah. We're going to go hiking. It's going to be incredible. That being said, is that it's going to take effort to climb, but there is no amazing view without the effort. And I think so many of us, we want incredible views. We want these highest height moments, but we're not willing to climb, or that we are frustrated when the climb feels difficult. But to remind you is that if it's hard, if it's challenging, that often means something good is coming from it. And I know like we've heard like coaches say this, and like, I don't know, we've heard it in the sports world, is that if it was easy, everybody would do it. And it's the same thing, whatever you're pursuing, whatever mountain you're looking to scale, if it was easy, everyone would do it. The reason why those like views are so breathtaking from like Mount Kilimanjaro and Everest is because like very few ever make it to the top. And so just to encourage you that if you feel like you're in this pursuit season, that the climb is really challenging, the best views, the best personal development is on your way. Second lesson, only bring what you need. So I cannot tell you the amount of times that I've been at the grocery store or I'm getting ready to load up the car to go someplace that I have to ask myself, do I really need this? Do I actually want to take this? Do I actually want to buy this? Because this is going to have to either come back up the stairs with me after I buy it, or number 2, if I bring it to my car, it's got to go down the flights of stairs, which is 4 staircases that I have to walk down. And then I've got to bring it back up. And so you will be amazed how you can become far more efficient, and that you don't want to carry things just in case. Like there is like no just in case. I've become pretty minimalistic in my like diaper bag like situation. Like I basically just need diapers and wipes and I'm good to go. Like I don't need the pacifier protector thingy. Like it's just, I've learned to just do with what it is I actually need. And so only bring what you need, which I feel like this is a great metaphor and great picture for our lives, is that the further we go in our journey, the more that we want to grow, the less we can afford to carry things that weigh us down, to bring extra baggage, whether it's clutter, comparison, or commitments that don't align with our purpose. Simplifying creates freedom for what really matters, like to keep that pursuit consistent. And so maybe today for you, that lesson could be something is, man, what is something that I've been holding on to that is just not necessary? And again, it could be something like comparison, a commitment that you have. What is something that you need to release and let go because it is just extra baggage, extra weight on your journey? All right, third lesson that I've learned is strength comes from repetition. It's funny because when people come and visit us, whether it be like our families or friends come to our home for the first time, I kind of forget that we live on the 3rd floor. Like I don't really think about it all that much unless we have like a Costco and Aldi haul like we did today. But that strength comes from repetition. And I don't think about it because I do it so often. So the first few weeks in the apartment, I was like, what did we get ourselves into? And I felt like those stairs were going to take me out at some point, which I was like super pregnant. I did those stairs all 9 months of my pregnancy. Like, okay. So I felt like, I'm like, these stairs are going to take me out. But over time, I've gotten used to it. What was once challenging has now become super routine. And that is how growth works, is strength comes from repetition, is that we build strength through showing up daily, doing the work day after day in the ordinary moments, doing the repetitive right things over and over again. And consistency, it begins to build that strength. It begins to build that, like, what was maybe took you a lot of effort and like mind strength, now you can almost just do it on default. So for me, those stairs for the most part have become default. I don't really think about them anymore. Like, I have no grudge towards them, but that is because of the repetition and the consistency of doing it over and over again. And again, that's how growth works in our lives, is just the consistency on the boring, mundane days, taking Champ out even when I don't feel like it, bringing up the groceries even when I don't feel like it, just like I did a little while ago, taking the recycling to the recycling dumpster when I don't feel like it, like doing the consistent things day after day. It will build that strength and that repetition. A lot of us maybe we're thinking, how do I get strong in an area? You just keep doing that over and over again without quitting. All right, next lesson number 4, and that is celebrate the little wins. I can't tell you how many times I've had a little party with Archie because maybe he's really tired at the end of the day and he doesn't want to climb. He's like, I don't want to go upstairs. And we throw like a little party at the top, like, yay, we did it. And just the reminder that sometimes like we've got to throw ourselves a little party. You might be like, okay. I have a friend that she talks about that oftentimes our default is being our own drill sergeant. And I think that is a really great picture of the way that we often are with ourselves. But instead of being a drill sergeant, sometimes we've got to be the party planner for ourselves. And so looking at even just the smallest wins, things that you might be like, I just walked up the stairs to my house, like something that you might not think is significant, take the time to celebrate. You deserve to be celebrated, especially if you're a woman, like, or man, I guess, if you're listening, as I know that this podcast mostly reaches women, who is making intentional choices to sow intentionally into your life, like that deserves celebration. And so whether that means that you celebrate with like a journal entry or you share with a loved one what you're celebrating, like celebrate yourself, or it's maybe a moment of gratitude, like, wow, God, thank you so much for giving me the strength to say yes to more water and no to another Celsius, like whatever that may be. Celebrate the little wins. All right, 5th lesson, which I really love this one, and that is don't lose momentum halfway up. Like I said, it is 4 staircases, and it can be really tempting at the end of the 2nd staircase to pause. But I have learned that the hardest thing is to stop. When you think you need a break, you don't. You do not need a break. What it's going to do is it's just going to delay the inevitable, that I still have to climb 2 more staircases, and it's just going to wind me even more. So it is better to not lose momentum and keep going even when it feels hard. Now, will that preach? Hello. A lot of times, and I put this on my notes, I put the word self-deception with 2 stars. A lot of times we can deceive ourselves. We can live in this place of self-deception that we're like, when we're in a place of growth or we're doing something that matters, that it's like, I can just pause. Like, I'll come back. Or, I can, I've been so consistent in this area. Like one, spicy novel, isn't going to throw me off. Or I bring up spicy novels a lot. You're like, Anna, you've brought that up in all of your podcasts recently. It's because I notice it is so talked about and so normalized. And I'm like, it is word. I don't even know if I want to say this because it might get flagged on my podcast, but anyways, whatever. It's just word porn and mind porn. Like, it's so terrible and it's so normalized, you guys. It blows my mind. But anyways, we're like, it's just one book. It's just like, I've been so consistent with, not gossiping, but it's just like one sideways conversation. Like, we deceive ourselves and we lose momentum. And can I tell you, it is better to stay locked in and disciplined than to give yourself a grace pause. Now, I'm not like anti rest. I'm talking about when you're in pursuit of things that are good for you. Losing momentum, if you stop too long, it makes it harder to start again. So I'm not saying that you have to be perfect, but I'm just encouraging you, if you're cognitively making decisions that are slowing you down or getting you off track of where you want to be going, stop. Don't lose momentum halfway up. So whether it is in your goals, your health, your faith, your relationships, keep moving forward. Even if it's just like one small step, it is better for me to like shuffle, like keep going than to stop, because it makes those next two staircases way harder. And I will stay at that landing far longer than what I intended. I'll start responding to a text message. Like, it is better just to keep going. All right, my last point is this, is that you need people. I need people. So when we moved into our apartment 2 years ago, we moved from Indianapolis, Indiana. Fishers is actually the city we were in, here to Fort Myers. And I'm so thankful that when we got here, the people that were ready and available to help was my father-in-law, mother-in-law, sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, my sister, my brother-in-law's dad, plus 2 movers. Like, we had hired all these people because we were moving our entire lives from Fishers to Fort Myers up to a 3rd floor. And you guys, it took us less than, I think it was like an hour and a half in total. It was less than 2 hours to get our full truck up 3 flights of stairs. And you guys, I've got like a Peloton bike. We had, beds, we've got desks, we've got patio furniture, we've got kitchen tables, we've got couches, we've got TVs. And that was because we had people helping us. And I think a lot of the times is that we have these ambitions and these goals, and we can become far too self-reliant. Now, I believe in independence. I believe in being a free thinker, being strong, mighty, courageous, brave, full of the fruits of the Spirit. At the end of the day, you still need people. And so, and I'm going to use the word self-deception again. Do not deceive yourselves. You need people. And I know sometimes that can feel hard because letting people in can be challenging, especially if you have been hurt or wounded by others. And I can say this vulnerably with you, like to you, is that I have experienced the depths of hurt from people that were supposed to love me, people who were supposed to shepherd me, people who were supposed to care about me. But I've also experienced the depths of love and healing from people. And so you can't, like, if you're like wondering, like, how do I get over like relational hurt? You get into relationship. And I'm not saying like if you had a really bad dating relationship, go get it healed with another dating relationship. I mean, like, go find a friend that is going to love you, who's going to like believe in you and be in your corner no matter what, an unconditional kind of friend. But you need people. You need people. And it can hurt. It can be uncomfortable, it can be awkward at times, but letting people in. About a year ago, maybe a little bit longer, it was more like a year and a half ago, living here in Florida, I had come to the realization that like I needed in-person people in my life and in a more intentional way. I have great relationships all across the country from a distance, talking to people every single day. And I just felt like the Lord was like, you need in-person people. And so that day I reached out to a dear friend of mine, Brianna. She's the discipleship pastor at my church and was like, all right, can you get coffee this week? Because I was like, all right, Lord, I'm going to heed this. I need people. And what's so cool is that Brianna has been an incredible friend to me from literally the week that we moved here. We met at church. But she's become an even greater friend. And I don't think that we would be as close as we are had I not heeded the word of the Lord that like I needed more people, like in-person people in my life. And because I think it can be, with today's world, it can be really easy to feel like we're super connected to other people. Like we're on TikTok, we have Snapchat, we're on Instagram, like we have FaceTime. We can feel super connected to other people, but like there's nothing that replaces in-person relationship. But I will say this, is that the digital relationships, if you're really intentional, those can be really fortifying too. But just knowing that at the end of the day, you need people in your life. And I'm going to speak to my married friends just for a moment. I have learned, this is like a side note, I have learned that, this isn't even on my notes, but I'm like, you know what, we're going to go here. That your spouse, so like in my case, my husband, Andrew, like he can't be the only person. Like he can't meet every single one of my relational like needs. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, he like meets like marriage wise, but like I can't have girl talk with my husband. You guys tracking with me? Like there are certain things that only I can go do with like my sisters or my friend Brianna. Like there are certain like hobbies. Like I love getting pedicures. Like would Andrew go with me? Yes. But like there are other relationships in my life that would like delight in that more. And you know, there's things that as a woman and as a mom that I like may be working through or challenged by that Andrew will always do his best to listen and be compassionate and hear me. But it's different when I talk to a girlfriend or my sister about motherhood struggles. Like there's just something different there. And so sometimes I think when we hear the word relationship, we just default like, oh, I've got a healthy and great relationship with my husband or with my wife. Me too. Andrew and I have a rock solid marriage, and that has come with a lot of grit and a lot of choice and a lot of decision. And that being said, like I still need other people in my life. You hear what I'm saying? Like, don't come at me. Don't put words in my mouth that I'm not saying, because I'm not saying that Andrew's not enough. Like that is not what I'm saying. He is more than enough for me. But I need other people in my life. So that's my last point, is that you need people. So to give a recap of there's other ones that I wrote down, but I was just going to go with the ones that stuck out to me the most, is that the best views come with the climb. That's the first lesson. Lesson number 2, only bring what you need. Lesson number 3, strength comes from repetition. Lesson number 4, celebrate the little wins. Lesson number 5, don't lose momentum halfway up. And lesson number 6, you need people. It would have been treacherous if Andrew and I, and Archie was 3 at the time, and we had our dog, and we still have our dog Champ. If we tried to unload that truck by ourselves, we needed others in order to be successful. Living on the 3rd floor has been more than a daily workout, because that is a bonus on top of all this. It is a great workout. It's been a reminder that I'm developing character in my life, that it is my pure joy. And through that character, there is growth and maturity coming. And just like as I've reflected, is that the journey shapes us just as much as the destination. That getting up to the top like isn't just like the goal. It's what am I learning along the way? So whatever stairs you're climbing right now, can I encourage you to keep going? And don't despise the hard work. Don't despise the consistency. Don't forget to rest when you need to. Okay. Like I said, I'm not like anti-grace, but also like, don't be afraid to be gritty and push through, and don't lose the momentum. Don't lose sight of the view that's waiting for you. Don't lose sight of the growth that is on the other side of your perseverance and staying consistent. And I think one of the best gifts that we can give ourselves is doing hard things. I think a lot of times we try to find the easy way, what's most comfortable, and we miss out on growth and purpose and joy and like a sense of pride and a sense of accomplishment that I really believe that God has innately created all of us with that desire. So Go do this. Like, stay consistent, climb your stairs, know that I'm in your corner and I'm cheering you on, and I believe in you. I do these podcasts every week, not because I am infatuated with the sound of my voice, but because I want to be that friend that is in your corner telling you that you can do this, that you can pursue the purpose and what you've been created for. You can sow intentionally into your life so that you can reap abundantly, so that you can enjoy this one life that God has given you on this side of eternity. I love you so much, my friend. Thanks for taking the time to connect today. If you haven't yet, I'd love if you'd subscribe to this podcast, maybe rate it so that people can know what it's all about as they're looking and seeing, is this a conversation I want to listen to? But also feel free to share it with anybody that you think would find it encouraging and uplifting to them to sow intentionally into their life so that they can reap abundantly. All right, friend, I will talk to you next week.